Just to make sure we all have the same common understanding about how vSphere storage works before we jump into the more in-depth, hands-on configurations of NFS and iSCSI, I'd like to present you a brief vSphere storage overview. The first thing you need to know is that storage in the virtual infrastructure is critical. The reason why is that all virtual machines are stored on your storage, and that's typically shared storage, meaning you have a dedicated box, some sort of storage area network or network attached storage array, and that's where you put all of your virtual machines. That means that the virtual machine disk files, which hold the operating system for your critical servers, your company's applications, and even your company's data, is all stored inside the virtual machine disk files, also known as VMDKs or virtual machine disks, and those virtual machine disks are on this single, in many cases, shared storage array. So what would happen if that single shared storage array were to go down? Well, you probably don't have to think about it for very long. This is the traditional all your eggs in one basket scenario, where when all the eggs are in one basket and you drop the basket, all the eggs are broken. In the case of the virtual infrastructure, this equates to corrupt data, lost data, and lengthy outages, which could put your company out of business, potentially, right? So what's a virtualization admin to do to prevent these types of things from happening? Step one, of course, would be to understand vSphere storage. Know your different options, how they connect, how much storage you have, and where your virtual machines are actually stored. Those are the types of things we'll be covering in this course on vSphere storage. We'll even get a little bit into VMware's Storage Distributed Resource Scheduler, which ensures that your storage has the capacity that your virtual machines require and that storage isn't suffering from high latency. In Pluralsight's future courses, specifically the VMware VCP Data Center Virtualization or VCP DCV course, we'll go more in depth into storage performance and availability. You should also know, as a vSphere admin, you have a number of different storage options available to you. The first one would be local storage. Let's say that you have a single physical server, to keep things simple, and on that physical server you have a single disk where you've installed the VMware vSphere hypervisor, iSCSI. iSCSI will by default create a single local data store using VMware's file system called the VMFS, where you would store your virtual machines. That's the simplest form of VMware vSphere storage, simply using a local disk on a physical server. And while that will allow you to run virtual machines, it's not going to allow you to take advantage of many of the advanced features that VMware vSphere offers, such as high availability for your virtual machines, and distributed resource scheduler to balance the load of the virtual machines between hosts. To leverage advanced features such as those, and to have a single repository to store all your company's data, including your virtual machines, you'll need some form of shared storage. For example, network attached storage, or NAS, which is file-based storage using the NFS, or the network file system. NFS has been around since the early days of Unix, and it's a very easy way, probably the easiest of these options, to connect an iSCSI host to shared storage. Another shared storage option is to use a SAN, or a storage area network. A SAN is block storage, meaning the individual files aren't transferred between the storage array and the iSCSI host, but blocks of data are transferred. It's just a different method of accessing the data. One type of block storage is iSCSI. The iSCSI standard and storage protocol would share storage to the iSCSI host, which the iSCSI host would format with the VMware file system, or VMFS. Another block-based storage option is Fibre Channel, also known as FC, and Fibre Channel SANs use hardware-based host bus adapters, which are dedicated cards in each of your iSCSI hosts to connect to a Fibre Channel switch and then to a Fibre Channel array. There's also the option to run Fibre Channel over the Ethernet network called Fibre Channel over Ethernet. An all-new storage option with vSphere 6 is called VMware Virtual Volumes, or vVols. To use vVols, which don't use the VMFS file system, you would use a SAN that's compatible with vVols, which might require you to upgrade your SAN. To use VMware vVols, you first have to have vSphere 6, then you have to have a SAN or a NAS that's compatible with vVols, and migrate any existing data from your NFS, iSCSI, or Fibre Channel shared storage to the new vVols enabled storage. vVols don't use the VMFS file system, but they do have a number of benefits, which we'll talk about later in this course. And then finally, VMware vSAN, or Virtual SAN. vSAN uses local storage spread across multiple ESXi hosts to create a single shared data store that's distributed but also offers high availability and advanced functionality fully supported by VMware. So as a vSphere administrator, these are the storage options that are available to you, and we'll be covering most of these in greater detail in this course.